The problem is he doesn't cut anything.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. So no matter what, this rolls while we set up every time.
I can see it now. Every week, David's listening like, oh my God, why did he cut that out? Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, why did I say that?
I am worrisome.
We're singing Hampshire Valley in my old Kentucky home. Kentucky home. The good old southern town.
3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Kentucky Commons Radio Hour, where it's not on the radio and it's definitely not an hour. Today I'm joined by co-host John Renee.
Hey there.
And Michael Moeller.
Hey, what's up?
As always, I'm David Satterley, and our two special guests this week are Mr. Mark Rubenstein.
Hello.
And Spencer Guy of Atrium Brewing.
What's going on?
Right, our neighbors. Right
Let's
up the street.
go.
Hell yeah.
Right up the street.
Greater Germantown.
Never been here before. It's a cool
Shelby
place.
Park.
Yeah, actually.
We are in our headquarters, Brewgrass Homebrew Supply, as always. So I know both of you two are pretty familiar with this place, especially Michael Moeller.
Especially me. Yes. I've been here a lot.
A lot.
My name is Michael Moeller.
Thank you, Michael
Good to see
Moeller.
you, Michael.
It's good to
I'm
see you.
personally very excited about this podcast.
I think this episode's been brewing for a little while, right? So we've had this podcast for a little while. There's a Patreon if you don't know about it.
By David of Barstool.
By David of
Yeah,
Barstool.
to everybody watching on Patreon, sorry for the camera angles. We've had quite a day of I don't know, is cacophony the right word? The AC was out this morning. The camera broke. My catalytic converter got stolen 2 days ago. Yeah.
There we go.
So it's over in
Welcome to the club, dude.
Yeah, did
I
you
feel
get
like a couple years ago.
Fuck, man.
Or what was that?
About a year and a half
That
ago.
was a year ago.
It's
Dude,
all a meme until it
They
happens
didn't
to
even
you.
cut mine out though. They tied a chain to like the system and slammed on the gas in the truck and
Dude.
ripped the whole undercarriage shit. I don't know, car terms. Ripped it all off and drug it down the street. Had to get the whole thing.
They took my muffler with them. They just cut it and then they just somehow just ripped the rest of the shit out.
Yeah.
The guy's like, "What the hell happened to your car, dude?" I'm like,
Germantown,
baby.
That's how we do.
That's how we do. Yeah.
Speaking of Atrium Brewing, what are we drinking today?
Yeah. What is these refreshing beverages?
Coors Banquet, it looks like.
Yeah, we got a little bit of everything cracked here.
Guess we won't call you homers, but what
This
Atrium
is,
beers are we drinking
So
today?
all of the AC's out. So we do have some light Coors Banquet.
We're glistening.
The audio quality might be a little bit worse this week because we have to have a fan. It's like an OSHA requirement. We can't have you guys in here with like
Yeah,
stagnant
yeah,
air.
yeah.
It's not Fall City Brewing Tap House after all. Not that there's anybody from Fall City here.
No, not at all.
And we're drinking our lemon parfait. It's a sour beer with lemon, granola, coconut, and vanilla,
Hell yeah.
and a little yogurt essence.
Who decided
And,
not to pronounce the T in Parfait?
That's a good question.
Probably like Joan of Arc.
I
Is
think
that why she got burned on the
Yeah.
stake?
Yeah. She's like,
I guess
no
you could pronounce it if
pronouncing
you wanted to.
consonants.
Parfait.
Parfait.
Parfait. Yeah.
Parfait sounds more deciding. This is your Parfait.
Parfait.
So you guys have, is this one of your Sour Series beers or is that?
Yeah, so this is part of Sour Month. So this is the first beer we released for Sour Month. It came out on the first of the month. So we've got like at least one sour beer coming out every week all month, and a couple collabs like sprinkled in on some Saturdays and stuff.
I'd say the conversation in here certainly will probably center around your all's love for beer and kind of how you guys both started on this weird journey. But while we still have the attention of the listeners, tell us about Sour Month that you guys have coming up this month.
We're releasing every single can release we've got this month is a sour beer. I think with the exception of one at the very end of the month. It's kind of what we've become like known for doing is these fruited sour beers. So we decided to do a whole month of them.
Sometimes too, people argue about what the best like lawnmower beer is, and we're drinking some Banquet and we've got some Pilsners, and you guys do great Pilsners and Kolsch's, but sometimes that's something with a little bit of tartness to me is like one of the best summer crushers.
Especially like the Gozas with the salt.
Yeah.
So we've got a watermelon Goza coming out at the end of the month. We're actually just brewing that today. Those are like more lawnmower beers than like the Boy series for me because we do these beers that are so intense and they're chock full of so much fruit. And
It's like a
this
sipper.
thing
It's
tastes
like
like
a pour
granola.
sipper.
I don't know if you've tried this thing yet.
Yeah, right. Michael, can you tell us what that can looks like?
I sure could. It looks like zebra stripes, but they're horizontal, and it's a goldish yellow with white instead of white and black.
That's a much better description than usual, Michael. Thank you. Can I get like a little tiny?
Well, you could, but it's empty.
These are both up for grabs. Yeah.
Excellent.
So
and then little tasting notes from
smells like granola. It kind of gets rounded out with that. How did you guys add yogurt? Did you get that little dried yogurt thing?
Yeah.
Is it a
something
secret?
something similar to that. I mean, I was gonna. It's trade secret,
Proprietary.
proprietary. I actually was googling all sorts of like. I'm not gonna put yogurt in a beer, but I found some stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Is this like probiotics? Like, this is good
It's
for
good
me?
for you. Yeah,
This
exactly.
Would you say this is Spencer's secret stuff?
This is Spencer's secret.
So you definitely get that kind of
Okay,
graham
sure.
crackery, brown sugary,
Mhm.
like vanilla in the nose, but I get a little bit of that kind of like creamy. I don't even know how I would describe.
There's some
that
coconut in
thing.
there that you
Oh,
can
really?
get. You can get the raw coconut does provide like a little bit of a creaminess.
Yeah.
And then there's
Do
also
you advertise coconut?
lactose. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's just a little tiny.
I was gonna say
little tiny
because
bit.
that's kind of sneaky if it's there just to kind of work in the
It
yogurt.
is.
Kind of.
It really ties in the granola. So there's the toasted coconut and raw. The toasted coconut ties the granola in a lot. It's got that caramelized bready kind of thing that like really ties it all together.
And then the lemon's there too. It's more in the taste than the nose, but it just definitely sits there and rounds it out like total lemon meringue. Just
It's a really fun beer. Probably the craziest, dumbest one we've done yet.
No, I like it.
We threw like
that's saying something.
it is. I mean, we put like 120 pounds of granola into the bright tank,
Nice.
along with all the coconut and stuff. And we got the tank all clogged up trying to get beer out of the tank. And I mean, we do these crazy sour beers all the time, but this one was like a real challenge and task. It was
The
our
granola flavor comes through really, really well.
It's fun, man. Our cellarman Max, one of the Maxes, he's been wanting to do a parfait boy for like since he started. Like, what do you want to make, man? He wants to do this parfait sour, and like for the last year and a half, I've been like, we would put yogurt in it with granola, and he's like, I don't know, parfait. So we finally got around to it. Parfait.
Parfait.
Yeah, finally got around to it. We'll do more of them for sure.
Yeah, well, it's absolutely fantastic. And so all month long, different sour beers. You guys can follow them on. Check out the Facebook, check out the website, check out everywhere to see all the different offerings. But anything under the sun, basically. You guys are kind of like the pop-up Hawaiian ice with like the board of like 20 different flavors of stuff you can try.
We put out the peanut butter and jelly sour today.
Nice.
Next week will be the brambleberry pie. It's a blackberry, raspberry, blueberry, and it's got like the pie crust, cinnamon, and vanilla thing. And then towards the end of the month, we've got the tropical acid math coming back out, and the watermelon goza, like I said. We've got a couple bottle conditioned sour beers we're putting out.
Oh yeah.
So just look on Facebook, Instagram.
I like the Boy series because it's not like there's obviously a ton of fruit in it, but it's not extremely like smoothie-esque. Like, you know,
We ferment all the fruit out.
Yeah,
Like,
it doesn't feel chewy, right?
Yeah.
I do like to try to shit on 450 North one time in every episode. It's not that.
Done.
Yeah. It's not that.
Check that off.
Yeah.
Check.
Like they still resemble beers. That's what's fun about them. Like in the glass, they usually pour with nice little bit of foam on them.
They're not super
There's
viscous.
no chunks.
like-
Right. It can be like soft and big bodied without being gross.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
They don't look like a fruit smoothie.
Right.
Yeah.
But, and dude, it's popular, man. People buy
Yeah,
the
no
hell
hate.
out of those things. And,
Except for me.
we don't really make them. Yeah, we don't make them. But we do fruit forward things and ferment fruit out. Our cane won't explode. Like I suggest you store it cold. It's gonna taste better. But you put this thing on a warm shelf and it's not. It's all fermented out. You know.
Yeah.
It's a
We
stable product.
had a lambic at like 65 degrees the other day. Great.
Oh yeah, I bet.
I
Hey, they didn't know how to
wonder
refrigerate back in the like,
a warm parfait boy.
Ooh, let's get one out.
just like a warm
yogurt.
exactly.
Mm.
I could do like a key like a warm apple pie.
It's like the
type vibe.
toasted meringue with the torch on top.
I actually am going to put it on a s'mores roaster and put it over the fire.
No, you need
You might be onto something.
Remember the
actually.
fire rod that was
Michael
popular?
Mueller,
Oh, yeah.
this
Torch it.
person right here, really
We just-
wants to
really?
do that.
We just did that at Kyle's.
Yeah,
Did you?
glass sauce, yeah. For vodka.
So you guys are that kind of beer douches.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Michael Mueller, massive douche.
Michael, come on, be nicer to yourself.
I like the self-deprecation. Just a very respectable human being.
Obviously. I agree. Mark, what do you think about this beer?
I liked it before the yogurt went in.
Oh, really? He didn't say he doesn't like it now. He just said he liked it before the yogurt.
It was more like a lemon bar to me,
Okay.
like with the powdered sugar sprinkled on top, the little tiny thin crust on the bottom. But yeah, I forget where I was that day, but he
You
called
were-
me and he's like, "Dude, you're not gonna believe it. I heard of this yogurt stuff. I thought it'd be terrible, but it's great.
He comes back and like, try another tank. Did we put that yogurt stuff in there? It's amazing. What do you think, man? He's like, yogurt.
I think I've known Spencer as a home brewer for a long time, but I've known Mark, I think, as a brewer for even longer. Do you remember what your first beer was? Whether it was when you were 12, 15, 16, 18, 21, or whether it was like later?
Actual beer that I drank?
Yeah.
Probably Buckhorn.
No, you don't even know
Grandpa's
this. Okay.
Buckhorn back in Oklahoma. Yeah.
Okay, hell yeah. What decade would that put us in?
That would put us in the late 70s.
Love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when did craft beer kind of become a thing for you? You're a little bit older than some of us here. You've been in the game for a while. I'm closer in age to him.
Yes.
We're closer in age than I am to you.
Yeah. Well,
How old are you,
That's
Grandpa?
my son.
tell us about the old days of craft beer.
If you guys are here in Louisville,
Tell
you
us about
already,
crystal
you know
malt and
Mark.
IPAs.
Hey, it's delicious.
It was back in the day.
Did you walk uphill to the brewery 15 miles each way?
I did. No, I lived in Oklahoma. It was very cool.
But yeah, what was it like for you? Just kind of getting into beer and homebrewing and
Yeah.
just kind of becoming a lover of it.
It was the late 80s, and I was actually on an archaeology dig in
This is
Wales.
the best intro to beer story I've ever heard already.
Spent 3 months in England and Wales, Scotland, and got into the Cascales over there.
Yeah, dude.
Came back. I was in Columbus, Ohio at the time. There was a homebrew store, High Street Homebrew. Got into it then. Stayed with it for a few years. Moved here, kind of got away from it a little bit, but then got back into it like late 90s, early 2000s again.
Here to America? Or
Yeah.
here to Kentucky?
Here to Kentucky.
Okay.
He was in Columbus, and then it's a short jaunt.
But yeah, that was kind of it.
And then basically you went pro. Kind of, you were going to retire, and then you're like, no, I should become a brewer instead. Is that kind of like, yeah? Is that what led
Technically,
you?
I did retire.
Okay,
From U of L.
technically, gotcha. But this is
With
kind of,
the
has it been
intention
your,
of,
have you had the goal for a long time to kind of take the,
within the last 5 or 6 years.
nice.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that's really cool about Atrium. You were kind of like the kind of brewing energy, and then you guys have a couple other partners that work it. Shout out to Dawn and Princeton, who are here with us now.
And Max and Max.
And Max and Max. Yep. But you guys have a great just kind of team. Everybody has their own little ball in the court. And it was cool to see you come on, Spencer, kind of as like the person who's going to throw yogurt into Mark's great like lemon beer that he has going.
Strawberry and shit.
But I think you and I've had this conversation before, but you got into home brewing and just kind of right from the start kind of just brought really creative energy, and we're kind of learning how to do the basic shit, but you can learn how to do that in a batch or two, and then it's like, hey, let's try to experiment. I don't know, what was your kind of philosophy for jumping into wild shit really quickly?
First of all, I'd like to just say that I think that Brewgrass Homebrew is plays a key role in what Atrium Brewing is.
For sure.
today.
Well, the whole homebrew community, to me,
The
is
whole,
kind of
100%,
yeah.
100%. But I mean,
I'll take the compliment.
the first batch of beer I ever brewed, I came up here with right after, you hadn't been open long, and I mean, I lived a mile up the street, and I'm sure that beer was god awful.
Hey, man.
Who knows?
That's your answer to everything.
Yeah.
Dude, John's so sweet. You can come in here and bring the worst beer ever to John, and he'd be like, yeah, it's good.
I'll try to give you I'll tell you that.
Nice carbonation.
Yeah, exactly. I'll try to point out something good about it, and then if there is like fuck ups, just be like, what temperature did you ferment this at?
Yeah. But no, I just, I feel like it's the same typical story with everybody, like who was like home brewer to pro brewing. I never had anyone teach me how to pro brew. I just, obviously hung around the Loggers Club a bunch, and they really all those old farts in there.
Yep.
First batch ever brewed, all grain batch was with Dan Flaherty. So he's a regular of ours at Atrium now. So it has been really cool to see everything come full circle. I was at an age and time in my life where I could devote the time and sacrifice another career to make beer what I do.
Yeah.
Because I think I was probably freshly 21 when I was coming in here buying stuff from you, maybe 22. And then I fell into the position at Akasha when I got that brewing job. That was extremely lucky. It was just kind of just did whatever I wanted back there.
Akasha is one of those other places where you kind of have to give them some credit, because so many people have
come up through there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and just kind of learn the ropes with Rick. And,
Well, Rick
you
has
know.
been so like, he's just always like, yeah, here,
Yeah.
go. You know,
I'm lazy.
I'm not going to hold your. He's like,
yeah.
he's not going to hold your hand through it.
Yeah.
It's a ride or die back there, man. And
When Michael and I did our beer with him, he not only was like instructive about everything, as down to like taking the temperature of the grain
before you mash it,
before you which I'm no brewer at all, but that is something I legit had never heard of.
Oh, it's going to affect the temperature down the road. Right?
Correct,
Yeah.
but I've never seen anybody even do that in practice. So that, you know, the instruction, and then like you have the training wheels, and then take them off and run.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I went in there, brewed a couple batches of fairs, and then it's like, all right, let's make some beers that love Rick, love Akasha, love the beers they make, but he makes a lot of traditional styles that people aren't beating the doors down for.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the pairing with you and Atrium was
and
a
then
perfect
so we did
pairing
a lot
too.
of-
Just exactly, because you can't make that much beer yourself, and like I'll as somebody who like is in the hiring process right now, it's like hard to find like when you're trying to build a business, those first like 3 or 4 people that kind of come in to be partners, it's going to make or break you. It's what makes the difference.
it's culture.
Yeah, exactly.
And Rubo come around the Loggers Homebrew Club too. You know, that's where we started just kind of kicking it back and forth. Rubo was always, when I was at Akasha, he was always bringing me his hazy IPAs in cans. One time Rubo came over to my house with his can seamer and cans and helped me can Bananas Boster.
Yeah. I remember that beer. Yeah.
He came over to my house, my little, shotgun house up the street, and Grandpa came over and we canned a beer. And
I remember even back before Brewgrass, my old Kentucky homebrew, like you'd come in, Mark would come in and like, let us try the pina colada. Like you were kind of one of the first people I ever knew who was talking about New England as like hazy.
Oh, 100%.
Bringing it into Louisville and actually like really figuring out exactly how to do it.
And it's hard. Homebrew examples of hazy IPA can be atrocious. I mean, I'd say it's probably one of the hardest things to brew at home because it's just so volatile and so sensitive to oxidation.
And very rarely do I advise people that they should fuck with their water. But if you're doing like a beer like that,
it's huge.
Yeah, you kind of do want to even get into the water chemistry a little bit.
You can get to that 2-to-1 chloride to sulfate ratio. That's where you're really going to get that like soft pillowy body,
which to me is like what it's all about.
It really is.
You can turn something into a juice haze bomb, but if the water's not right, it's just going to hot burn, and it's just going to.
You can make a good beer without doing it, but you can make a great beer.
Yeah.
But
so, Mark, when did you decide like I need to take this leap? You're exiting your career in higher ed, and you say I've been doing this homebrew thing for some time.
I need to go to lower ed.
Yeah, lower ed. Or South Show or South Logan, if you will. But,
I think just in the course of passing out cans of homebrews to people like you guys, I was friends with a lot of the Lexington brewers, passing things around there, and got a lot of good encouragement from Derek and Brandon and all those guys up there. The Mile Wide guys, like.
Was this something you had thought about for like years, or maybe at the end of my career I'll do this, or did it kind of just happen?
Yeah, it just kind of happened.
Good.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Rubo,
why not?
If anybody knows how to go with the flow, it's Rubo. I'm telling you, like Rubo is one of the wisest people that I know, and he just floats. He just floats.
I agree with that.
Over, man.
I agree with that.
I'm so fortunate to have Rubo in my life. He's dude, all of us. Like he
I feel the
is,
same way about Spencer.
We're fortunate to have you guys as part of the beer community too.
All right, if we could stop gushing.
So, what do you guys think about? Because you guys are two. When did you guys officially open?
September 2020.
Okay.
Right
so
in the
you
thick
guys,
of it.
I was gonna say, right in the thick of it.
Right in the thick
How
of
much has Louisville beer changed since you guys even opened? Does it feel like? I mean, so you guys don't even have a basis for comparison. You do a bit because you've been in the industry for a while. Where are we?
We're help. Somewhere like existing in an odd place that I don't think any other city is in. I think we still have a very bourbon educated like beer consumer. From the time that I even started professionally brewing, which was probably in the last 4 or 5 years, like we have so many more consumers now too.
Yeah. For sure.
But what's funny about the time we're in here is like when all of us got into beer, like smoothie sours weren't there to get into. These crazy lemon parfait beers weren't there to get into.
Yeah.
You know, we were like piney
Grapefruit-
resinous double IPAs were there.
Grapefruit Sculpin was
And-
like
Yeah,
grapefruit
right,
and an
like,
IPA.
what?
I remember
Right,
when
like,
Pineapple
so-
Sculpin came out.
Yeah.
Right.
Holy shit.
It's like
yeah.
Yeah.
So like, and like, as much as like our goal is to like educate the consumer and create new beer consumers, there's this like first couple steps that get completely skipped now because there's like these options out there that don't taste like beer, and we make a shitload of them, and I love making them, right? But like the like fundamentals aren't there, like to understand why this like West Coast double IPA is good, and it's very easy for like the new beer consumers, you know, go on Untapped and like it's just a funny, weird little like thing.
Let me transition that into because at least some of us here come from the homebrew kind of like perspective or whatever. If you're somebody like you're talking about and you're just like, so okay, let me rephrase my thing here. People come in here all the time. They look around. There's like 30 different grains, and then there's like 50 different hops, and then there's like 200 different yeasts. And you're like, what is this? How do I even understand this? The State Fair beer judging is coming up. If you want to learn some stuff, you can go on to the Kentucky State Fair website and register. Even if you've never tasted beer before, you can come in, sit at a table with people who have good palates and can help you do that.
Yeah.
That's a great way to kind of start to bridge that gap a little bit and just kind of be
I
able to
agree.
dissect what you're doing.
But also, like, why do they care? Why do they want to do that?
Because it's fun, dude. Well, because you
they
get
don't
free
they
beer.
don't care. Free beer, yeah, it's awesome.
We're buying glasses.
I encourage
free
everyone who
glassware.
wants to learn.
You get
do
to hang
that,
out with
for
people.
sure.
Guys, we do have a call in. It's from Michael Moeller.
Wait, what?
Wait, what? What?
Impossible.
Michael Moeller.
Imposter!
There's an imposter amongst us.
Hold it closer here.
There's another Michael Moeller just called me.
It's your doppelganger. You gotta hate like cool.
Long time listener, first time caller. How we doing?
We're doing great.
Doing wonderful, other Michael. Who are you?
Michael from Arkansas. How you doing?
Doing wonderful.
We just said that. We're doing great.
Yeah, cool. I just wanted to call in and see what y'all thought about pastry sours. Like, is that like something that I should be drinking right now, or
Not if it's from Arkansas.
Yeah, just a Louisville shit, dude.
All right, cool.
Let me get a pilly check.
So I was listening to this show for a little bit now, and I heard about this thing called Atrium, and it sounds really cool. Do they have pizza?
Yes.
Because like I got some pizza here in
Why are you
Arkansas.
He's slopping it, dude.
Look at all that cheese, dude.
Everyone on Patreon, I apologize.
This is
I
great radio.
got this pizza in Arkansas right now, and I was just wondering if Atrium had this too.
Even better, Tindies.
Dude, we got tendies and burgers for you, buddy. Come see us next time you're in town.
I could use some burgers right now, man. Nothing here, so all right, that sounds awesome. Y'all have some fun time there at Brewgrass Homebrew Supply. I'll talk to you all later.
All right, we love you, Fuller.
All right,
This is
see
real
y'all later.
Mueller. This is
Enjoy.
Fuller. Fake Michael Mueller.
Fake Michael.
Oh man.
Well, fake Michael just called in.
But on that subject of like people getting into beer and where we are consumer, we've seen these trends go.
You're right back.
Let's go, baby.
Look at
Let's go.
Spencer,
Keep it
Spencer
going.
being on task.
We've seen these lager beers start taking off, man. We've seen these like beers that we want to see take off in the last like year probably.
Yeah.
Like our lagers, Kolsch, Pilsner, like every month it's like higher and higher and trending higher and higher. And like, I mean, that's what I want to see.
Sure.
When you talk about like introducing people to beer and like back in the day, not having pastry sours, sweet things that attract bugs, to like introduce you to, you have to be this like hardcore sadist to be like, oh, I really want this Optimus that's 120 IBU.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I'm definitely going to grit my teeth through the whole thing of it. But
And then your teeth are going to be gritty.
then after that, everything after you have that, you're like, well, this isn't as bitter as this, and it's not as bitter as this. And you start to develop a taste and
Like,
go backwards.
think about what a different beer consumer you would
Yeah.
be if you got into fruit sours as like your gateway.
Yeah.
'Cause there's
I
a
think we know
lot of
several
that
of
now.
them.
Oh, yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
But you like these people are like, oh, I had the stout and it doesn't taste like candy enough. And like, God
Right,
damn
right,
it.
Yeah.
Michael Mueller, what do you think about this?
Yes.
But no, beers like that are actually great gateway beers.
I I think even at the beer is huge for like education, but even at that level, if you can get somebody in the door and explain how you made this,
Yeah,
and then they kind of appreciate other styles of beer regardless of,
and not just learn to appreciate like tasting it, but learn to appreciate kind of what goes into that, because you guys do get like super creative with how you bring these flavors out, because it's really easy to just buy like
Amaretti.
Well, I was even going to go further than that. A lot of people like grapefruit sculpin. I don't think I'm going to get any sculpin haters in the crowd. They would just put some kind of like extract tincture shit with some fresh grapefruit peel too.
Yeah.
Some ascorbic acid to kind of stabilize it and balance it out. And probably sorbate to make sure it doesn't ferment in the bottle and shit. You guys don't do that necessarily. You guys are very...
We use 90% of our fruit beers is puree. 99% is real fruit puree.
I would define it as even artisanal, like your all's approach.
It's not cheap.
Yeah,
and
no, it's not.
It's also not easy.
I buy puree. It's not cheap, guys.
Calculating the alcohol can be a pain in the ass too when we're fermenting. There's some beers that we do that 20% of the liquid in the tank is fruit puree.
Yeah. We call those shandies.
Yeah, right.
Now, do you think because craft beer has changed in that way that it makes it more approachable to new craft beer drinkers?
100%. Yes. I'm not like complaining and wishing that everyone was still getting into the old, Avery Maharaja and shit. I don't wish that beer on those beers on anyone. Rubo, you love those beers. I mean, you drank those beers for years.
White
right?
Rascal, baby.
I did too for a minute.
Dreadnought.
Yeah, it's
Dreadnought. Yeah,
but I mean that's what's so amazing, and that's why the beer culture's consumer is able to grow so rapidly, because we're into like classic like Pilsner, nice crisp beer. Why would anyone care about that if they don't like understand beer? They wouldn't don't care about that. This beer tastes like raspberry and lemon and cake, and it's awesome and it's fun. That's a whole lot of fun. Like
friend of the pod, Ryan Berg at Fall City.
that guy.
When he was in college, he's okay.
He's all right.
He's all right. Also, Ryan Berg douchebag. When Ryan Berg was in college and living at his college house, he and his roommates would all, they're Natty, Keystone, cheap beers. And every once in a while, they would pick up a 30 rack of like Sam Adams. This is in Lexington, UK. Yeah. Sam Adams sampler pack. And at the time, they had an IPA called Latitude 48.
I remember that one. Was it a wit?
No, it was an IPA. It was a big resiny, piney IPA. And they would play Kings, and they would make that the penalty beer for losing Kings.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because everyone in the house hated it except for Ryan's friend Cody. He would lose on purpose so he could chug the IPA.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
No, dude. Yeah, Sam Adams was like the stuff you could get.
Yeah. When I was in college, Bud Light was still selling their variety packs, which was like a Bud Black.
I remember that. Yeah.
It was.
Bud Light Platinum.
There was like a golden ice. Well, platinum, but there was like a golden amber.
Bud Light variety.
I remember when they tried to make like
this.
the throwback, the pre-prohibition Budweiser or whatever. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was good.
So I was going to ask you guys too. You guys make fantastic, fruity sour beers, all that stuff. But then we're talking about the growing like Pilsner and just clean beer thing. You guys make great Pilsners too, like some of the best around.
Meetable.
We did Pilsner Raquel versus your all's. I think you just call it Czech Pils.
Czech Pils, yeah. And
just like money, like right there. Do you all have a lager philosophy, especially like using our water, doing it in Kentucky? Like, what are the pro tips?
We've got great water for lager beers. We really do. We are like so lucky that we have great water for beer in general. And I think that like while we're trying to replicate, say, a Czech Pils or an Italian Pils, yes, we could be starting with RO water and trying to match the water of that. But also like we're in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And like the kind of the way my personal philosophy on lager beer, I don't know about yours, Rubo, but like I'm never gonna make my Czech Pils taste like Urquell does, even if I try to match the water. Like we are in Kentucky, and this is our rendition of a Czech Pils. We're doing everything in our power to brew it the way that they would brew it there. We don't. Our equipment's not capable of doing like decoction or anything, but everything we can to replicate those flavors. But it doesn't need to be Pilsner Urquell.
Yeah,
Kentucky, right? It's a terroir of the land, and it's our water. And
we were just connecting Czech pills on a
No, for sure.
level. Yeah.
But
you made the point very
But
well.
we could start with our own water and try to match that water. But our water makes great lager beers.
And then the beer would cost twice as much. It would take 3 times as long to make.
It would take a long time.
Yeah.
That would be the big
You
thing.
got to use what you have available.
But
and
that's
then at the end of the
okay.
day, like it's just as drinkable. It's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit brighter. The hops shine through a little bit more. It's also way
it's fresher.
freaking
too.
fresher.
So
exactly.
Yeah. I think if it was worth it, we would do it. Right. It's so negligible. If we were in Florida, we would not be brewing Czech pills with tap water.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
If
we can filter our water and make amazing lager beers.
If our water is good enough for bourbon, it's definitely good enough for beer.
Yeah.
So.
And like, I mean, going back, we were talking about water chemistry and hazy IPAs. You know, we'll definitely touch it there.
Yep.
But I have not had a bad experience with our water in a lager beer. I mean,
You guys didn't get into that using the Beargrass Creek poop water competition, did you? You guys
my
remember that one a few
God.
years ago?
I do remember that.
They
I made a beer.
Yeah,
for
you
it.
did make one with that. Yeah.
That beer smelled like the cleanest urinal you've ever been in.
Oh.
It was like the cleanest porta potty, like fresh urinal cakes. Oh,
Have you ever been the first one to use a porta potty? Like when they get dropped
that's
off?
what this beer smelled like.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Funny. For the listeners, there was a what would you call it? Like a
There was an initiative by
Initiative,
the
that's a good
city
word.
to use some of the local water, which they source from Beargrass Creek.
which is notoriously kind of where all of the refuse water is. To run it through filters, make it usable, turn it into beer.
Yeah,
And I had us off to them for doing that. That was like really, really cool.
it was by no means
had us
bad,
off to you
but
for doing it.
there were byproducts to it.
Yeah.
Rick signed me up for that in the middle of the night when I was working at Costa. I got an email like, "Oh, you're gonna brew this beer with this like poop water." And I was like,
Only poop
okay.
water.
Hey,
Yeah, I hit up
think about
Rick
it.
and I
It's
was
all
like,
poop water.
Rick, you know anything about that? He's like, "Oh yeah, sign that up." I forgot about that.
That's
Sign you up
great.
for that. So literally, like a week later, a truck was pulling up with a tanker full of like
There you go,
treated water, and I'm like pumping it into the kettle. I'm like, what am I doing?
That's great.
That's
great.
Oh, that was a good time.
Yeah, more the merrier.
Well, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna make this like clean blonde ale and really showcase how great the water is.
Yeah.
It just shined. It was just like too clean.
Yeah.
Like,
We decided to throw granola and yogurt into it.
yeah.
Spencer, you dragged a can out.
Yeah,
What
what are
is
we
this?
drinking now? You guys are
Yeah, this came out today. It's our peanut butter and jelly boy. It's blackberry and a roasted peanut compound. So it's gonna have like
Oh no, I'm good.
it's
I've been
he's
drinking
had
it all
plenty
day.
of that today. It's gonna have like it's gonna taste more like the essence of like roasted crushed peanuts and less like fake peanut butter.
Sure.
And this is for Sour Month as well.
Yep, this one came out today. So when does this thing air?
Next Monday.
A week from Monday. So like next week, this upcoming week would be the Brambleberry, like every Wednesday basically. So this was today. So
That's a lot. There's 8 total releases.
There's 8. Is there 8?
Yeah, I counted.
There's 8.
Per John's email.
Per dozen even.
Couple collabs.
Yeah.
Like we've got our collab with Shipping Port and Noble Funk coming out on Saturday. That's a draft only one.
And Scout and Scholar.
And
That's
Scout
right.
and Scholar. We did a really fun beer with Scout and Scholar. We did a fruited sour beer inspired by a big surprise. Inspired by a rum runner cocktail.
Uh-huh.
And we put it in rum barrels. So we'll be racking
that's
that.
cool.
We'll be racking it's blackberry, pineapple, key lime, and
I was
banana.
gonna say what's in a rum runner, but you just kind of nailed it.
And then we'll be pulling that out next week, and so that'll be like a 2-pack can at the end of the month. 2-pack rum barrel aged sour. Super stoked on that thing.
Hell yeah.
Lee's amazing. He had the room to store the rum barrels, which I don't really have. So it's like nice to do something that we're not really capable of over there with them.
It's one of the most important elements in a brewery that nobody thinks about: space.
Oh,
Yes.
Like,
yes.
yeah,
Yes.
I can tell you just
Even
from a
if you think
homebrew
about
store,
it,
it's
it's
like
still-
space, man.
Even if you think about it, you need more.
So
This-
Elon
the-
Musk's brewery on Mars with infinite space.
You know what's most impressive about this to me is you have a lot of
The
people will
PB&J
do
boy?
the PB&J boy. You'll find a lot of people doing like peanut butter porters, peanut butter stouts, and they use that powderized peanut butter, and the mouth feels powder.
Mhm.
Like
It
it,
dries
it
out
feels
your, like-
conky in your mouth.
It's a substance called PB2, and they put it in for like smoothies and shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I don't like that.
I
stuff.
use it.
I don't like
Right.
use
You
it.
use
It has really good
Yeah.
flavor, but if you try to go super, you can use it
can be
in small
chalky,
amounts and it
sparingly.
works really well. But
Right.
if you're going for a big banger like this, what'd you guys use for peanut butter flavor?
This is what'd you guys call it earlier? Secret Spencer stuff.
Spencer Secret stuff.
Spencer Secret stuff.
Yeah.
So Amaretti makes a peanut butter. The only one that they make is like a clear like syrup, which I don't love.
But this isn't sweet
They have
This is more like
it's like dry
roasty,
roasted
Yeah,
peanuts.
it's more like the essence of.
They make another peanut butter compound. They used to make it. They don't make it anymore, but I get them to custom make it for me.
Nice.
It's like an 8-week lead time or something. But when you open this stuff up, it's like it looks like concentrated peanut butter almost. It's like this super thick, dense like paste. It's oily. It's chunky. It's not like a clear syrup.
Yeah.
Like the other stuff they make. So.
And the thing that I love about this beer too is that you have the peanut butter, you get the jelly, but you also get there's like a just white bread crust kind of flavor.
Nice.
That comes.
Yeah,
You know what I mean by that?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It's white bread, but it's just the
grain.
crust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you're one of those people who had your mom cut your crust off your sandwiches.
In
which case, I feel bad for you, son.
It really
Nerds.
reminds me of like the Smuckers, like the Uncrustables.
exactly.
Like
exactly.
in the package.
Totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, well done on this one too.
It's real fun. Thanks. Yeah. It's again like this could be like way overdone, right? Like this beer could be cloying and gross. It's just like the essence of roasted peanuts and fermented blackberry to where it still resembles beer and is drinkable, and it's not.
If you marketed it a different way and were like, this is just like a berry gosa, I'd be like, this is delightful.
Yeah,
or you can be like, because it kind of walks that line between
For sure.
novel
Yep.
and like traditional.
And that's the way we try to do these beers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure the guy who loves smoothie sours will like this beer.
Yeah.
But also, you guys are going to drink this beer.
Yep.
Like, they're approachable and balanced. And I think balance is the key to beer in general, but especially these overdone beers. If you can do these things with like love and balance and nuance, they could be like really, really beautiful beers that
some of my
drink.
favorite like beers, and this is gonna sound very alky, but some of my favorite beers are the ones that you could like put a shot of tequila in.
Hell yeah, brother.
And I would totally
You can turn that into a cocktail.
a shot of tequila.
Is he like the Merryweather peanut butter and jelly tequila shot?
Right, yeah.
Oh, don't even get me started on that bullshit.
You don't like it?
No, fuck, no, it's disgusting.
It's fucking amazing.
No,
what is wrong with you people?
You're just wrong. You're wrong.
Have you had it?
You're wrong.
Yes, it's gross.
Oh
my god, just
buddy.
drink bourbon.
That's what I should have brought.
We get around every single. I can't think of a time that I've gone there and we have not got around to those.
You have to.
They're great.
Well,
if someone
I'm giving
comes
up
in
my
town-
therapy session next week for all of you guys to go talk about this to somebody with a professional, because that shit ain't right.
I did bring these
It's
straws for you. You want to
yeah.
drink your beer out of a straw? It's sour month, so I thought we'd make it a little more sour with some sour punch straws.
If you guys are members of the Louisville Loggers, Louisville Homebrew Facebook Club Facebook page,
tell me it's great. Tell me
It's amazing. Everyone should do it.
you might know that Spencer loves straws. Nobody knows why, but we thought sour beer, sour straws.
Well, sour straws are a goated candy. They really are.
They really are.
They're great.
You guys know me too well.
I mean,
He's getting clogged with peanut butter.
I want to give this a go.
You should give it a go. We should. You know what? I'm getting these behind the bar. We're going to serve them with the beers.
I was going to say, we did it with Against the Grain a few years ago. The 90s
the
candy
big
day.
gulp. Yeah, that's what it was. Nice.
You can buy like 10,000 of those on Amazon for like $40.
I'm doing that.
I was going to bring Airheads, but this is what CBS had.
Yeah,
Seemed
fair.
better, so.
Wow, this is amazing. Yeah.
So all we're saying is, if you want to come to an Atrium Sour Beer Day event during the Sour Month, you don't need to bring your own sour punch straws necessarily. Maybe the Patreon fund this month will go to buying a shit ton of sour straws and drop off at the tap room.
We should have got together and done some stupid candy sour beer event for Sour Month. Dude,
There's
still
so much time. There's so much time in the world. Yeah,
Dude, we should do it.
I'll buy a shit ton of candy on Amazon right now.
I
We'll call it a collab.
We should fucking do it.
I love candy.
Let's go.
I'm just saying.
Nerd
You know
boy?
what? Actually, candy
Nerd
is
boy?
good,
Nerd
but
boy?
like throwback '90s candy is the best candy.
Gobstopper boy.
Gobstoppers, fucking fruit by the foot,
Dude. Lemonhead?
Gushers.
Sour
Wait,
Patch.
did you say Gushers?
Sour Patch
I
Boys.
said Gobstoppers.
The watermelon
Yeah.
ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nerds.
Beer's fun, dude.
Warheads.
It's stupid. You can do stupid
You
things.
can.
And make dope pills.
You often will.
The
That's
people that ate that kind of candy in the 90s
Yeah.
are the ones making the beer.
Yeah,
And-
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Exhibit
Wisdom.
A,
He
right
is
here.
very wise.
He is
That's
wisdom.
right.
I'm telling you, and he's drinking his Coors Banquet beer out of a sour punch straw.
Is that going to be
How's that going down?
tapped later?
Barely.
Barely?
Coors Banquet through a Sour Patch straw and untapped. It was good, but I don't really like Sour Patch Kids.
One star.
2 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2
I
cats.
had an untapped check-in I saw earlier of a New England IPA of ours. Said it's a little hot forward for a New England IPA. It's like, oh, dude, there's too much IPA in your IPA.
Yeah, you guys want to talk about that for a second? Is
Yeah.
Untapped over, or is it only just begun, or is
No,
it?
it's not over, dude.
I don't use it.
No, we don't. It's not. It's over
Yeah.
for us.
Oh,
It's not over for
The people who are using it, the beer
the
journalists,
people we're talking about earlier, who
Right.
their introduction to craft beer is Atrium's peanut butter and jelly sour and lemon parfait thing. Like that's their introduction to craft beer, and then they get into it and they turn their craft beer consumption into a hobby.
Yeah,
and then they're an expert.
Yeah.
Now they're an expert.
And,
So, Ryan Berg back at Fall City told me earlier today that they had a review that was posted on Instagram by an Instagram beer review person, and
Yeah.
they gave their
Instagram beer review person.
and they gave their rundown of the beer, and then they listed the ABV, the IBUs, and then the Untapped rating as part of the review.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I've done that before.
Ugh. To you. No, that's gross.
I want them to know what the world thinks, and then now I think it's so much better than what the world thinks.
Well, you know what's really fun? We should do it right now. If you go on Untapped and you go to top-rated breweries in the U.S.
Burning Pit.
So I haven't looked in a while. It's been a while. But the last time I looked at top-rated breweries in the U.S., it was like out of 10 of them, 3 of them were seltzeries.
Yeah, I
It was
believe
like
that 1000%.
Smooge, which is like a smoothie seltzer, and then like a couple other ones. But if you look at top 10 in the U.S., I guarantee you're going to see multiple meaderies
Yep.
and
the others were made.
maybe a seltzer or two. You're not going to see a ton of beer in that top like 5 to 10.
Okay, so I did just pull it up real quick. Some of these seem kind of sus. Number 1, Willow Park Brewing. It's a nano brewery out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
We all know that Untapped is a little bit pay to play too.
No, it's not. It's
Not
100%
for average
yeah.
rating. You can definitely pay them to get some.
Yeah. Anyways, so Bethlehem is a nano brewery. It has a total of
How about instead
1,075.
of pay to play, gamified?
We're going through the
All right,
list.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
David.
I'm the host.
You're the host.
I was wrong.
That's right. So they only have 1,075 ratings. That's
And then
really not that much.
And then the next one's a meadery with 47,000 ratings.
And what
Jesus.
meter is that? Pips? Yeah,
It's Pips.
Mhm.
Another one I've never heard of, but I do like that they're listed as a contract brewery.
That's hilarious.
Out of Hampton, New Jersey, Esker Hart Artisan Ales.
Oh, that's funny.
Again, with 1,034 ratings.
So how do you pit that up against 50,000 ratings or 100,000
Is it-
ratings?
we're obviously
Right.
not-
Well, that's the thing. If you have 1,000 diehard fans who will all just drink the mead aid and
Sure.
leave you a 5-star
Sure.
review, then it's gamified.
Right.
Is that
To
any
that
any
extent.
different than a Google rating though?
Now,
This is a fair point, Michael.
when's
This
the
is a
last time
fair
you saw
point.
someone rate a beer on Beer Advocate? Like nobody uses
Nobody
beer.
uses
Like,
that
it's,
anymore.
it's totally dead. But at
I
least
think-
that was
But
like,
they've moved
I think
into
they got
more.
killed by Untapped was an easy to use app.
for sure. Boom, right there.
It
But
is.
Beer Advocate didn't. They have an app, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not user friendly.
Yeah.
The UI is.
If you want to be a beer expert, all you have to have is a cell phone.
Yeah,
So just to
and an
call,
opinion.
And
Just-
yeah,
just to qualify Spencer's statement, out of the top 10 breweries listed on Tap, highest rated, I'm counting right now 7 of them that are meaderies.
Okay, so craft beer is dead. Meat is
Right.
king.
Meat is
It's- we've talked about the evolution of man chart before with the little
And
monkey dude.
Two of
Cro-Magnon.
the nano brew, or 2 of the, well, 3 technically of the top 3 breweries out of the top 10 breweries that are not mead are nano breweries or contract breweries.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So
I think one of my biggest problems with Untapped is you'll get a lot of people who won't even try the beer themselves. They'll look up the rating
And
on
just wanna
Untapped
have an opinion.
and just to see what everyone else thinks about it. I guess
they'll use it to order their beer. Like,
Right,
I'm not
exactly.
going to order a beer until I look at every single beer on Untapped, and whatever the highest rated one is, that's the one I'm getting.
right.
So how do we feel about that?
I think that you go talk to your bartender and you have an
Yeah, I
experience
think it's
at a beer
fucking stupid.
without, talking. And
If you want to review your beer on your Untapped, that's
God bless
fine.
you.
Like I used to be big into it. I used to not so much anymore. But yeah, if you're gonna try, if I'm gonna walk up to the bar at Atrium and order a beer, if I don't know what I want, I'm probably gonna ask the bartender, or at least go with something like if I see that I really want a Pilsner and I see that Meatball's Untapped. on tap, I'm gonna go ahead and get the Pilsner.
That works well for traveling too. When you're out and
Or get a flight.
yeah, no, don't do that.
I
seem to remember.
Oh, bartenders don't like pouring flights. I say order your fucking flight.
Yeah.
Order it.
Order 4 pints, you puss. Just drink
I
it.
seem to remember a picture that you posted on the internet of a flight recently. Order 4 pints, you puss.
Hypocrite.
Who says I didn't?
You could have afterwards.
Michael Mueller, I will not take the stats from you. But yeah, no, I mean, you can do both, obviously. But the funny part is, like, some people use like a specific beer to gauge, like, I'm going to order the Pilsner, and if they mess that up, then I'm maybe having one more beer and I'm out of here, you know, or I'm going to try this IPA, or I'm going to try 8 beers in a flight, whatever. It doesn't matter, but use it as a tool to your will.
And there's so many amazing breweries that I love and respect that are known for, you know, like 1 or 2 things. Like having across the board good beers, like and not good beers, but like great beers across the board. Like there's something to be said to that.
Agreed.
You know?
Yeah,
that's the brewery that you want to go back to again because you're like, man, I wish I could have tried more of their shit.
And that's the brewery that you're going to take all your friends to because your person who's into sour is going to get whatever they want. You're going to get your pilly beers. You're going to get your pillies. And grandma's going to have a Heffy because she had it once in Germany and she loved it.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's all going to be good. And it's not like you can ruin a consumer really quick with a bad beer.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
You know?
Easily.
Like,
and as we move into
I
a
don't like craft
world,
beer. It's bad. You just have a bad beer. There's unfortunately so much bad beer in the world.
yeah, as we move more into a world that's either going to go like more metaverse or going to go more like back to old school people like talking at a bar and being like, try this and tell me what you think. Like the proof of the pudding is in the eating and whatnot. Like that's another one of those things kind of like you guys do where it's like the middle ground. It's like you want to have a good online presence and like, you know, Dawn, shout out, does such a great job with your all's media and like your all's brand identity. Like people can tell who you guys are. You taste with your Instagram first.
For sure.
My phone eats first. Too.
yeah, exactly.
Interesting fact about Don that I have to bring up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys knew. He is like world class on a pogo stick.
Oh, really?
Oh,
He
yeah,
actually qualified for the Olympics. I think he was like an alternate on the Olympic pogo stick team.
I cannot wait to just bring this up endlessly.
And he's always trying to like film me,
He is,
snowboard, skateboard, whatever. But like,
Get on the
dude,
pogo
we need to
stick,
get that
man.
pogo stick action going.
Yeah, dude.
That's our IG
Yeah.
could be
If
sick.
Okay, so if you were
He's
to
an
make,
animal.
if you were to make a bouncy boy, what would that be?
So clearly it'd be like
Bouncy
kangaroo,
boy.
kangaroo
Yeah,
based. A lot of Australian hops.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that's good. Like a dry house sour, or like I don't know, like what's a fruit that you can like drop on the ground and it bounces? I don't know.
Like
What is there a thing in Willy Wonka where it's like a
basketball.
An everlasting gobstopper?
are those bouncy?
No, they're not bouncy.
yeah, basketball.
Basketball.
Let's put basketball.
Okay,
season.
so we would make a sour beer and we put basketballs in it. That would be bouncy.
Just a little rubber.
Tastes
That's
like
also a good beer name.
Oh,
Love rubber.
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you for that. Also, I would appreciate if the beer could bounce off the ground and back into my hand.
Oh.
Or else-
We had the Silipints
We're onto
for a little
something.
while. Those like silicon bouncy glasses. Yeah. A lot of people got cancer.
you just overcarved the shit out of it.
put some flubber in it.
How many
Yeah.
bounces
Yeah.
does
Good reference.
how many
Good
bounces does
reference.
it take to get to the center of an Atrium beer? That's all campaign. We're giving this
Let's
away.
go.
We're giving
Let's
this
go.
away. What is this large, magnificent bottle?
Is this
I
show and
have?
tell?
Well,
No, I'm just popping beers for you guys. This is this comes out with our bottle release this month. I have to look at my phone to see what day that bottle release is. So this is we're releasing 2. So do you remember when we did the sparkling acid math?
No, but our
You didn't
listeners
get it?
don't either. So.
Oh, okay. So we did.
It's a lot better if you shake it up more, David.
We did. This is a Berliner Weiss. This is our mango acid bath. This fermented beer is taken before carbonation and bottled with a little bit of priming sugar and some Brett.
Okay.
So this was
Which Brett?
all of the Bretts. I think this has Lambicus. This is like Brett C, Lambicus, and Brux. All the Brett came from Burgas Humber. So we do every now and then when the beer fits and it's right. I'll pull off some finished fruited sour beer before we carbonate it, and before we add like we're doing a peach one this month that is the base from Peach Pie Boy, but it doesn't have the cinnamon and vanilla and everything. It's just like peach sour. So we'll pull that off. Throw some Brett in there, a little bit of priming sugar, And like this beer comes out along with the peach bottle later this month. I'm looking at my phone to see what day it is. But it's only going to get better. Like we'll have about 150 bottles of each, and you can drink it now. And it's sparkling, bottle conditioned, and amazing. But this beer will be, if you like Brett, it'll be really, really nice in a year. It'll be like a lot more funky.
And this is a Berliner Weiss base with no lactose, no...
Correct.
Yeah, nothing.
For the
Correct.
non-nerdy like beer
It's just
listeners
mango.
out there, but the bottle conditioned thing with Brett is Brettanomyces, so you'll hear that said a lot, but it's really just a bacteria that kind of goes in there and creates, yeast goes in and eats, makes sugar into alcohol and carbon dioxide. Brett is a bacteria, so it does the same job, but it turns it into like these really... I don't know what you'd even call it. It's like
I think it depends on strain of Brett, but
Exactly.
funky is probably the best way to say it. Dry, funky. I mean, complex. I mean, you can have. There's some Brett strains that I don't like.
yeah, same here. Well, used in the wrong context,
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Brett can also be like, if you're not familiar with what Brettanomyces is, like it 90% of the time is something that you do not want there.
Right.
It's an infection. Brett will dry your beer out to bone dry. It's gonna eat complex long chain sugars that Saccharomyces
Yeast.
will not consume.
Yeah.
Yeast will not consume. This beer comes out on the 21st, so next
yeah.
Saturday, along with the peach one. And then I've got a blueberry
And
one. And
some of my favorite Brett beers are like, don't drink it. Oh yeah, fair enough.
It's
Very-
really nice if you drink it from a sour punch straw.
Yeah, very, very good from a sour punch straw.
The punch straw brings the Brett out nice.
It does like fully carbonate into foam before it hits my mouth.
This is how auto brewery syndrome got started. By the way, you're like the zero patient for the new strain of gut colonizing Brettanomyces.
Well, I am simply adding more priming sugar. So
Yeah. But to the listeners, if you've never had a just kind of a base beer and then tried a bottle conditioned version of it, which is aged with a little bit of Brett, this one, for example, it just brings out those tropical fruit flavors, but it's not sweet. It's dry, but it still tastes like sweet pineapple somehow. Like it's such a strange experience on your palate.
And it's gonna, the goal is to have that like champagne, like
Exactly.
bubbly
It's effervescent. It's bubbly.
It's
Yeah, it's
bubbly.
light.
Like the carbonation is like so much sharper and just hits your palate different,
Mhm.
I honestly, this is great. I think next time I do this beer or one of these bottles, I'll probably up the carb a little bit more. I want this thing, I want foam to come out of the bottle, man. I like
dude.
it. It's so much. The reason we do these beers is because we can carbonate the shit out of them and it'll hold in there. So
Well, especially
Like,
if you're
I'll take
branding it like
take it to
a
the max.
bottle conditioned thing, like sometimes that's money. If you pop a beer and it just sits there
yeah.
and just has that little slow
Mhm.
thing of foam coming out
Love
of the
it.
top.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
dude.
I
Yeah,
love
you're
it,
like,
man.
okay, this thing
Yeah.
is funky.
and this is the second one of these you all have done.
This will be the second and third one that we've released.
Right.
On the 21st, we're sitting on bottles of different ones because it's re-fermenting in the bottle, right? And what's happening is the Brett is eating these long chain sugars that the beer yeast can't eat, and we don't know how long it's going to take for those to happen because it's a really slow process. The beer is completely fermented out. There's nothing left there for the Brett except for complex long chain residual sugars that it just takes them a while. So we throw them in bottles, and a month later we start cracking one every week or two. And when it's effervescent, then we say, okay, we're ready to release this.
And that's the best example of beer being a living thing because, like, you can have one of these, you can try it in 3 more weeks, tastes totally different. 3 more weeks, you're like, shit, all the flavor went away. 3
Yep.
more weeks, whoa, okay, it's
Yep.
ready. Yeah.
It's pretty wild. And that's what's great. Like, if you guys are going to come out and buy bottles, I suggest you get a couple and drink one and forget about one. I'm not usually an advocate for aging beers.
I was about to say, we talk
Yeah.
frequently about how, like, even beers that are aged, like bourbon barrel or sour, it's like when it gets out, that's when the brewer says it's good. The brewer doesn't taste it and be like, this tastes like shit, but probably in a month it'll be good.
Yeah.
Throw it out. So,
Don't drink this now.
so like you buy one and then you forget about one. You're just like, still have that laying around.
Like, this is something that I would put in my cellar.
This
I
is
wouldn't add any
science.
more bourbon barrel aged stouts to my closet at home.
And those are the best ones to age. Those things with
Yeah.
Brett in the bottle,
Mhm.
you become a that's another way to turn your drinking
Into a
hobby. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To become a connoisseur.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
To have some Brett shit laying around.
If you want to be an untapped expert,
Cooler than all your
come buy
friends.
Atrium bottle conditioned beers.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But even then, like, without all the sciencey pieces, if you just serve this to someone, I genuinely think, like, they'd be like, "Oh, that's good." Like it's not sweet.
No, yeah,
It's not
It's
overly
dry,
sour.
yeah.
Like it has an acid profile, but you're not like it's not a puckering.
Some people, for
sour
example, will
experience.
drink like I'll just go to the bigger one and say like people drink Cantillon and be like, ugh. Like if that's your approach into something like that, it can get balsamic-y, it can get like just overly sorbic or whatever. Acidic, yeah.
Get that vinegar.
This is great. This is a great balance.
Glad you like
Yeah.
it. Balance is the key. Is the key to it all. There's plenty of people who would wish this would be more sour, but that's fine. We got other ones that are more sour.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like the mild, like just acid.
Or
profile.
drink it through a Sour Patch straw. Problem solved.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
This is true.
Yeah.
Michael Moore, what do you think of this beer?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm very personally excited about this beer.
Go with pizza.
Good, great with pizza. The one other good thing about sour beers with bread is that it'll settle your tummy a little bit.
I often get the opposite effect from that, but
Well,
still appreciate.
that's why you're in therapy.
Yeah, take a left for yeah.
You can always have a nice Underberg afterwards.
Precisely. Who's going to be the first person in Louisville who makes like a Louisville Underberg, a Louisville aperitif, triple boiled
distillery.
down oak shit?
Yeah, gotta be a distillery. I just got boatloads of money.
Yeah, or us.
Or
us.
Right after this podcast.
Yeah. Yes.
Boatloads of money.
Well, we have some
Enough to
money.
make a little
I don't know if you know this, but our Patreon is pretty big. We're buying a stool a week.
Yeah,
Let's get,
Yeah, we have to get David a stool first.
yeah, let's get a campaign going for that. Let's do it.
do you want to show and tell?
Sure. I think this is the right time for a little show and tell. Every time we have guests on, we ask them to bring something they love and also something they love that is not beer. So, Spencer Guy, what have you brought for us?
You want beer or not beer?
Your choice.
Your choice. Yeah, this is your show and tell. This is your story.
Okay, well, I brought like bring something you love that's beer and something that's
Well,
not
Mark
beer. Like
brought you.
I
so-
love beer. Like I just love beer, and
It's both.
in honor of loving beer and loving homebrew and just coming up from just being some dumbass kid to getting to make beers with Mark every day, I brought the oldest homebrew, the only homebrew that I have left in my collection.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Fuck
And
yeah.
It's probably not good anymore. I think we discovered earlier it was made in 2017, 2018. It was a Scotch ale that we put into a Corsair 15-gallon rye barrel at home back in the day, and then actually ended up bottle conditioning it because I wasn't even kegging it when I made this thing. Probably rough, but it just in the spirit of like homebrew and beer, and I just love you guys and everything.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's-
yeah.
So that's what I brought.
7-year-old, 8-year-old homebrew tastings are
It's probably
Old.
it's
Yeah.
probably pretty rough, but I thought it was an appropriate time. So bad and boozy,
nice little wax
There we
finish.
go.
little, just getting way too into it at home. Had to wax your bottles.
I think the wax is probably keeping it safe.
Oh, hell yeah.
Uh,
It's not going to hurt.
I would be surprised if it doesn't gush. Honestly,
About to find out.
Sounds pretty good so far.
No gush.
Oh. I'm gushing a little.
oh my!
Scotch.
All right, so
ale.
what makes a great Scottish ale?
Honestly, this is probably the last Scotch ale over.
I know.
I do not even know. But while you guys are tasting this, I'll get my other show and tell together here.
Scottish ales were a thing for a hot
Yeah, actually,
minute.
it
I
sounds
remember, who used to do there was a popular one that was around.
Well, let's start
Oh,
separating
Robert the
it.
Bruce.
Robert
was
the Bruce,
three-
yeah.
Floyd?
Founders.
Not Robert the Bruce. is
Somebody
Three
help
Floyds.
me.
I can't remember the name of
Who?
the founders.
Three
They had
Floyds?
one too.
Or
Robert the Bruce is Three
Founders.
Floyds.
And then there was Old Chubb. Who was
Oh,
that?
Backwoods Bastard.
Backwoods Bastard.
Backwoods
yeah,
Old
yeah.
Chubb is Oscar Blues.
Oscar Blues, yeah. So those are like the Scottish ales that pop up in my memory. You don't
You
see
mean
them a lot these
Belgium?
days.
No, you
But
don't.
it really in like English barley wine.
I was gonna say,
like
it smells like an aged
what's
barley wine.
separating those two styles from each other? I don't
Golden
know.
Promise.
It's so
Malt.
much caramel. It's so much caramel.
300 years of violence in history.
I can't believe it held up so well. Honestly, it's not the worst. I thought it was going to be pretty rough, man.
I would drink this before going into battle with William Wallace.
Fuck yeah,
Absolutely.
baby.
William Wallace needed all the help he could get.
That's right.
Robert the Bruce was no help.
No.
If you believe the Braveheart movie, I don't know how accurately that reflects history.
Mel Gibson's always been historically accurate.
Totally. The Jesus movie.
That Jesus movie,
perfect.
that was pretty good.
Did you guys ever see the Apocalypto movie though?
Did not know.
Yeah, actually, I'm sure it was not historically accurate, but it was kind of a good movie. All right, so Spencer's next show and tell is clearly going to involve tall pour glasses with ice. I'm going to use this opportunity to visit the lavatory. David, do you feel confident to make conversation for 3 seconds?
No, I've never been a host before. I don't know how this works. I don't want to talk about Pokemon, but
Let's go.
I want to talk about this ice baby.
I had to do it up
so
for y'all.
Ice me, daddy.
I'm icing you down. I brought. This is literally called the shit.
The shit.
Can
It
you
is the
spell that?
SCH-I-T.
Okay.
The shit. So I love cocktails and I love rum cocktails.
No, Rubo loves
And
it.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Let the man tell his story.
And Rubo is the
Sorry,
king.
Michael Muller.
Rubo is the king of boat drinks and tiki drinks and fruity cocktails. So I had to bring the Schnitzelberg iced tea from Merryweather. And this was Rubo's surprise. I had to beg Rubo to come here with me today.
The Merryweather.
I said, I got a surprise for you.
The Merryweather.
But this is,
Great bar.
Great bar. Jim James is
Amazing
there
bar.
on Saturday
Oh, yeah?
with my morning jacket.
Who's that?
Oh, well, it's a band from Louisville. Okay, all right.
There we go.
You're boring as shit.
Buddy.
He's a brewer, not a pourer, okay?
Yeah.
Sorry.
What do you think this is?
Actually, we don't pay you to be here, so we only pay Michael Muller.
So,
What? You pay me?
cocktail from one of our favorite bars in town, the Merryweather.
You never got to Rubo liking
So,
tiki drinks.
If Rubo goes somewhere, if they have something blue, he's gonna order it. Right? Am I?
You're correct, sir.
That's right. So yeah, here's the shit. JC sent me a text message with what's in this thing. Cheers, boys.
You said it was based on a.
So this is a Schnitzelberg iced tea. So I guess it's kind of like Long Island iced tea, but it's just rum and
Yeah,
rum
dude.
and rum and rum. Let's see, what's he put in here?
I love all businesses that just lean into the like neighborhood aspects now too.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
it's like
Yes,
you know,
it's so great.
you don't want to be. Let me think of a great example. You don't want to be BrewDog. You don't want to be trying to like take over the world and be like,
No.
bleh.
Mhm.
That's what BrewDog says in their board meetings. I've heard.
So this is Jamaican and overproof rum, coconut rum, house pineapple shrub, cinnamon, grapefruit, house almond orgeat, and lime.
What I love about JC and Emily too, the Merryweather.
They are
Owners.
wizards.
Overproof rum.
Yeah, well, they're as much as we get like nerd out about beer and shit, like they know all the little nuances of different like. I think he's kind of a rum dude. Whenever I'm
It's
hanging out
rum.
with him, he
Rum,
like
rum,
to taste rum, talk
Yep.
about rum.
Yep.
And
Every time I go, I'm like, what's in the tiki on tap today, man?
yeah,
Rum, overproof rum, Jamaican rum, coconut rum. I'm like, well, I know that it's like 5 rums.
Dark
What else
rum,
is
light
in it?
rum.
Yeah.
sounds like a
Just skip the
Forrest
rum
Gump,
step and
like,
just
yeah.
tell me
Yeah,
the other
like
stuff.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Ton of rum.
So this is freaking great.
Yeah, this
I
is
love the
delicious.
Long Island iced tea
Amazing.
vibe, but like brought back into Schnitzelberg.
Mm-hmm.
I like the ice cubes.
And something with ice is also just delightful. I like how strongly the tea comes through as well because you get that little. It's like overly steeped, like Russian style tea.
Oh yeah.
Reminds me of Russian tea a little bit, orangey.
I'm sure when you
Overly
order this
tangy.
over there, it's got a big old sprig of mint in it. Or
Yeah,
some, fanciness. I didn't want to be a pain. I almost asked them for straws.
Well,
yeah.
you are in luck. We do have
Sour Patch Kids straws.
strawberry
They're on
sour
the table.
patch.
Yeah, that's delightful, dude.
Yeah,
yeah.
so show and tell. Here you go, boys.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Something you love. that's
Shout out to
not beer.
JC and Merryweather. They kill it. He's always such a pleasure to be around and to talk to about cocktails. And
That's another thing
life
you guys like
and-
do too. You guys do so many good collabs, like with neighborhood businesses. Like we've done homebrew competitions with you guys, and just being good stewards of the neighborhood. Like,
sure.
you guys are up on Logan. So I've lived in this neighborhood for. We lived in the Germantown, Schnitzelberg, Shelby Park neighborhoods of Louisville. And 10 years ago, it's kind of it's still kind of run down. It's still
Sure.
kind of like
Oh,
a
yeah.
transitional neighborhood or whatever. But man, my favorite thing about our little community and like everything going on, which to me is a microcosm of why Louisville is great, is because there are these like small businesses that are just again not going like global, not trying to be the new whatever, but getting those 300 raving fans in your neighborhood, catering to the people who like your products, being welcoming to everybody else, focusing on just everybody who comes in has a good time and wants to come back.
Yeah, bringing in other people from outside. What
was Jesus' things?
Jesus did a lot of things.
Jesus had those the disciples.
This can't be wrong.
You bring the disciples in to try your peanut butter jelly tequila shots.
Yeah.
Yes. And then they were prophets.
Written.
Were they in the Mel Gibson movie?
Yeah.
Were they in the Mel Gibson movie?
Yes. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Historically accurate. Stamp.
Yeah, historically accurate.
I can't believe how good that Scotch ale is.
No, dude, it actually holds up.
Yeah, it held up.
Before the shit got poured, I was still drinking that.
Well, I swear wax actually does help prevent oxidation.
Oh, for sure.
1,000%.
For sure.
But there's
nothing
wrong with this.
Ruby. Yeah.
Look, dude, you got a little bit of lacing going. Come on.
Jeez.
Come on. Hey, we did
a state fair.
We did a 6 or 7 year old. It was a couple years ago that we did those. And one of the ones that helped the best that I did was a Scottish ale.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Well, even that micro oxidation works with malty beers, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
You can make it
it's just gonna
flourish,
play right
have that
into it.
bouquet, like
Tons
a barley
of
wine.
Maillard to
That
just,
sherry wine character kind of starts to come out.
Precisely.
It's actually a fun little sidecar with the.
I'm not mad at it at all.
It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
There we go.
Crazy bastards. We're getting some koofies going on here.
I'm not
This
going that far, but
this is a 5-year-old cocktail, actually.
No. Average age of 3 years.
Cellared cocktail.
Yeah, dude.
Now you don't advocate for cellaring beers, but would you cellar the shit?
I would cellar the shit out of the shit.
Moeller, you normally never cuss.
Yeah.
What's getting into you tonight, Moeller?
The shit.
The shit.
It's really putting some hairs on my chest.
So
That
if you guys
poor
do visit
Arkansas
Louisville, or if you're Louisvillians and you have not been to Atrium, go there now. Come hang out in our neighborhood, drink a beer at Atrium, and then eat a pizza at the Post, and then come back for a nightcap at Atrium, which is basically the perfect night.
Yeah, let's go.
Or Square Cut.
Square, yo, dude, yeah.
Or just stay at Atrium and eat a Derek's Burger.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Eat a Derek's Burger. Oklahoma style.
And then, do a bang bang. Eat a burger at Derek's, then go behind to Square Cut and ball out on pork tartine spread.
Oh, dude.
He's got meat spreads. You just spread meat on everything in there. It's amazing. It's so good. And then go to Merryweather.
You can get
For
money
a rum
for
drink.
spreading your meat.
Oh,
I don't get it. Can you elaborate on that, Jared?
It's something I was curious. I'll Google it.
did you ever tell these guys about the first time we met each other when you called me?
I
Did you ever tell these guys about
I called you for a good time.
Did you spread his meat?
I don't think so.
That took a few more weeks.
Some he's and some haws.
Yeah.
Do you care to enlighten us? Because this seems memorable.
Okay. What's really fucking ironic about this whole thing is we've been talking about how much Untapped sucks, but also is great for beer and whatever you want to say about Untapped is fine. The way I met David Satterley was through Untapped, kind of.
Yes.
And Instagram, when David was just Kentucky Beer Network, dude in the corner, Kentucky Beer Network, who is this guy? We had been chatting.
More who is this guy?
That's
how I said it.
And we had been chatting about
This fucking
shit,
nerd.
and it was
this guy.
okay, we live next to each other. Let's link up for a beer. For some reason, my phone was broken, and I was like, here's my number, and I had given him my wife's number.
Oh yeah.
And
This story is sounding.
And I'm like,
a
give
little
me a shout, man. Give me a ring. Let's link up for a beer. We've been messaging each other like nerds on the internet. And so he calls my wife's phone. Never met this dude before.
Oh.
And his name pops up on the caller ID like he was saved in her contacts. Her phone's ringing, it's David Satterley. And
My
who
God.
the fuck is David Satterley, dude?
This
And,
guy sounds like a cuck.
and I don't know. I can't even remember why I gave him my wife's number. But and then we still never got to the bottom of this. We definitely grew up going to skate park around each other and stuff, but we still never got to the bottom of why his name came up in my wife's phone when he called her the first time.
That was weird.
Do you remember? Right?
Well, I felt bad. I was like,
Dave was like, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't even know. I was like, no, I have no clue. And you're like, well, this guy sus.
Kalen, you know this fucking guy?
Yeah.
At least now it says maybe It says maybe David Satterley.
Yeah,
When
right,
somebody
right,
calls
Okay,
it,
I went to the wedding. Okay.
Yeah, you did come to the wedding.
The rest is history,
The rest is
as they say.
And then, God damn, I forgot about
You forgot
that.
about it?
Yeah.
Dude, it's
That was
pretty
really
amazing.
weird because, how the.
It was uncomfortable. Because I said something to David about it, and it clearly made him so uncomfortable. He's like, "Dude, I don't know. I don't know.
To be fair, when people call me, their name pops up a lot of the times.
But this was 5 years
this
ago.
this was before we got that. So
Fair,
that
fair,
it was
fair.
just
This was
it was-
before
Yeah,
the internet.
Dave's a creep.
Yeah,
It's solved.
Solved. Stamped.
Yeah,
Stamped.
what the funny part is, like, at that time, my phone was under my parents' name. Like, there's nothing that would have uniquely identified myself.
She probably
So-
was just a Kentucky Beer Network fan. It's
I-
honest. It's
I don't-
innocent.
I think so.
she was a fan.
Yeah.
She never told me
Never
the
did.
bottom of it, or David did. Yeah, so
So
I'll never know.
Your name still doesn't pop up on your phone to this day.
My name?
Yeah.
yeah, she actually never saved your number.
Yeah, exactly.
My phone just says Spencer, maybe, but I don't know.
So, Spencer, last time I saw you was at my birthday party at Shot Bar, and you were
I already know what you're getting.
you were riding Ryan Berg's skateboard in the street, and you
In my Crocs.
in your Crocs, and you put them into sport mode, and you automatically did a hard flip.
Fuck yeah.
So
No problem. First
how
time.
does it feel to be a skate god?
Skate God?
When are you calling up Najee Houston?
Did you land a hard flip?
First try in the Crocs,
really?
bro.
In the Crocs?
First
In the
try.
Crocs.
In the Crocs, dude.
After a couple drinks too,
In sport mode.
in sport mode. That's
No, I totally wasn't drinking when I was skateboarding on Barrett Avenue in my Crocs. There's no alcohol involved in that.
Was
No,
it
not at all.
was it a between the legs hard flip or a kick backwards?
Dude, do you want me to show you a hard flip? I'll show you how steezy my hard
I'm
flip
just
is,
curious.
dude.
I'm just curious.
I got a skateboard in my car right
There's
now.
a couple ways to
I'll do it in the flippy floppies.
Okay.
Michael Muller, you have a skateboard in your car?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'm a skate god.
Yeah.
Little known fact.
Little
When,
known.
when I'm not hiking the mountains of Arkansas.
Which you will be in about 4 more hours.
Yeah, because I'm going to take a flight.
Back to it.
I'm so dedicated. I flew from my trip in the Arkansas Ozarks to come do this podcast because I love you guys so much, and now I'm flying back on my private jet back to Arkansas.
That's life. That's
And-
living life.
And if
Yeah.
you're wondering where that private jet money came from, it's
Louisville Ale Trail.
Louisville Ale Trail.
/patreon.com.
And
Subscribe.
special thanks to Atrium Brewing. For
Yeah, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us.
generous
Yeah.
donation. It was good.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
the private jet.
The private jet.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Oh,
is-
no problem. We're just kind of like that, man.
Yeah, spread it around.
Everyone has always
Yeah.
said, if you want to make money, get into local craft beer.
Boy, I sure am glad.
All right, well, thank you
We'll
guys
wrap
very
it up.
much for hanging out with us. Yeah, Mark, Spencer, obviously,
Fuck
like,
yeah, man.
love you guys as people.
My
but,
favorite podcasts are the ones where you decide you're the host.
well, somebody's got to keep this thing on the rails. Somebody's
too.
got to keep this thing on the rails.
Because Michael Muller sure isn't.
No, Michael Muller, sure.
When I listen to your all's podcast, I can just hear the tension between you two. I can hear it. And
you
David's
got to
like,
keep things moving,
David's
baby.
like, oh, John, and John's like, oh, David. It's you can tell it's there. It's
They were
great.
like, Muller.
It's amazing. And then we're like, and then I was like, whoa.
we do like each other, believe it or not. I think.
I believe you.
It's 50-50 on the given day.
Yeah.
Would you like to end the podcast?
Oh, are you offering me to host in the podcast? All right. 3 shakes of the glass means that the podcast is over.
That's right.
I'll give it a ring. We'll go around the table real quick. Spencer, do you have any shout outs to make here?
Yeah, come to Atrium, drink sour beers, drink clean Pilsner beers, go support Louisville Ale Trail, buy a pass, go around, go to Falls City and see Michael Muller sometime. Just
Good
drink local craft beer and educate yourself and just don't drink any bad beer.
Eat Sour Punch straws.
Michael,
Fuck
do
yeah.
you have any
Beer's
call outs?
fun.
Just support local.
Yeah, dude.
Support Arkansas,
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
especially the Arkansas pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you
love
know,
a nice
about
Arkansas slice.
a nice Arkansas slice.
Nothing like it.
Yeah, nothing like it. I mean, Bill Clinton and a saxophone and a nice pizza.
I might pick me up some Arkansas style on the way home.
Yeah, man. You know,
Mark, you got anything to shout out?
I guess I'll say hey to the wife. Hey, Jen.
Yeah.
Hey, Jen.
Shout out to
Okay.
Jennifer, too, who's,
Okay.
if we talk about, like, Louisville being cool, your wife has a lot to do with that,
She's-
with the Independent Business Alliance and, like, just Louisville,
She works hard.
keeping Louisville weird.
She
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. So shout out.
My kid Kate and my dog Biscuit. What's up, dude? Biscuit?
What's up?
John, you've said enough, so
I'll shout out David Satterley doing a great job as the host this week.
You guys are cute.
I'm going to shout out Michael Mueller for being here tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Hi, Mike Mueller.
Anything for you guys. Anything for you guys.
It's unbelievable.
Incredibly
here.
important.
No one has hustled as hard as I have.
No one could ever disagree with that. But cheers, guys. Thanks for hanging on for another episode, and we'll see you next week.
Rip it. Hell yeah.